What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 22 of the Pack Mentality Podcast, your number one source for Zombies Discourse. I am your host, Aqdevy, joined, as always, by my co-host, Shorbz, as well as the host of another COD Zombies podcast, the Jugg podcast. Today, we would like to welcome ZatchyBoii. Zatchy, how are you doing today? And we have to ask you as well, as we do every guest, how did you get into zombies?
Well, first of all, I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. So, I feel like I have a pretty classic getting into zombie story. Like, one of my buddies had World at War, and he was like, "Hey, like, I gotta show you something." and we played the last mission of the campaign, How You Do, and then we load into zombies, and I wasn't expecting this. I was probably 8 at the time, I think.
Wow.
So, yeah, ever since then, I was like in love with zombies, and then I kind of had like the normal playing split screen with my younger brothers and, playing with my friends at their houses. And then Black Ops 3 comes around, and that's when my love for zombies really kind of skyrocketed. So, I mean, I'm sure you can imagine why. But, yeah, Black Ops 3 was really the game that did it for me. And I hate to say it, but I had a huge falling out after Black Ops 3. And I didn't play for I should say that differently. I did play. I'd play every release, but say like I would only really play it right when it came out. So
Right.
It wasn't doing it for me, and I feel like I was kind of falling into that trap of listening to some content creators trash on the game. And I really wish I could go back and do it differently, especially with like BO4, because obviously that game's, pretty controversial at times, but it's very highly regarded in the community as well. So
Absolutely.
But
So-
yeah, sorry, you can go.
No, you're fine. I was just gonna ask, was your first map like Noctur Untoten? Did you start right at the beginning, or was it a little later during World at War?
Oh no, yeah, I was loading right into Noct, the first ever map. That was the beginning for sure.
Hell yeah! What a time! I wasn't there for it. I've always said BO1 was what got me into it, but yeah, I really wish I was. The whole that intro cutscene right after campaign, that sounds so neat.
Yeah, so especially being an 8-year-old and loading into that and not expecting it to, like, I was terrified, but also like I was like, whoa, like this is crazy,
Right. Yeah, no, I remember playing Noct. Like I didn't really like recognize it as like COD Zombies or whatever, but I do have some memories ripping Noct with like my brother and his friends and stuff, and yeah, it definitely gets pretty scary, especially when you're a kid. You mentioning that kind of made me think about like you guys know the whole thing of like, I guess I don't think it applies to us, but like some random person who's like somewhat familiar with zombies, like loading into like a solo zombies game, I feel like they actually feel like fear going into it, and that's definitely what I felt like initially going into it. But yeah, it's kind of funny how that's sort of like worn off over time.
So, Zatchy, did you keep up with COD Zombies from World at War going into BO3, or did you take a little spell and then really started to get back into it and fall in love with BO3? How did that work?
So it's kind of like how I was saying, like I would play split screen on BO1 and BO2 with my brothers, but I was like a huge multiplayer guy for a while too, and that was kind of my bread and butter. But I think it was because I didn't really know much about Easter eggs, if at all, at the time. And that's like in Black Ops 3, that's when I really started to get into the story and get into the Easter eggs. So yeah, the story I think is really what made me fall in love with zombies.
So
Absolutely.
So do you feel like you said you were watching like content creators and stuff? Do you feel like they altered your opinion of some of the maps in like BO4? You said especially like at the time, or do you like, is it like a permanent thing? Like, do you like not appreciate certain maps that you feel like you otherwise would, or like how did that play out?
Yeah, so like I guess just to get a little deeper into what I was saying, I wish I could go back and replay those maps for the first time again with the knowledge that I have now, because I was listening to some content creators kind of, say the maps aren't that great or that Black Ops 4 is a bad game. And I don't know if you guys remember at the time, like the reception was pretty bad for Black Ops 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And there was a ton of content too. And so that, that's kind of really surprising to think about. And so I wish I could just go back and really get to know those maps, because even now that's probably my weakest Call of Duty game in terms of knowledge of the eggs and the steps and stuff. But yeah, I really wish I could go back, because those like Blood of the Dead, I mean, that map is just so cool. Mm-hmm. And even though the Easter egg's really long, like the storyline and the ending cutscene is just so insane that I just, like I said, I wish I could just go back and experience it again.
Right.
I'm right there with you. I also like started to hit a lull with zombies during BO4, but I unless it was subconscious, I don't think it was anything to do with like creator feedback necessarily, because I was one of the fortunate few that the game wasn't really crashing for me. For some reason, it was totally stable. I didn't get what all the fuss was about. Really, I think for me with BO4, it was such a like packed game experience, a lot like BO7 is today, like, because I was very much still into multiplayer. I was playing Blackout for the first time as well. I think it was just it was such a full experience that it all felt thin to an extent. And yeah, for me, BO4, it just like kind of fell by the wayside. I didn't pick it back up until I think like Alpha Omega started coming out. And yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I would love to go back with the knowledge I have now and experience it with the community, unlike what actually happened. So that's a great point.
Yeah, I think like a big part of the reason too was I had like just gone to college too. I was my freshman year, so
yeah.
And I was playing sports in college too, so that was taking up a bunch of my time. So I was squeezing in as much zombies and multiplayer as I could, but eventually I just kind of ended up fizzling out, and I wouldn't say I lost the love for zombies, but it definitely just that feeling to want to play every day just kind of went away a little bit.
Sure. Totally understandable. Yeah.
Quick,
with that said,
just
go ahead.
Quick side note, Zatchy, what sport did you play in college?
I played baseball.
Nice. That's good stuff. Sorry, just had to get also being a sports fan, I had to ask that as well. But go on, Debbie.
No, you're fine. Yeah. With that said, Zatchy, thank you for that. And today we're gonna be talking to Zatchy about Kowakujō, his thoughts. Last week we gave ours, but we've given the map a little more time, I assume. And yeah, I'd love to hear where everyone's head's at with all this after the crazy weekend that the hunters, myself included, had last week. So yeah, Zatchy, what are your snap impressions of Kowakujō as it is right now?
So this is actually the first map that I've actually tried to hunt for the Easter egg and go in blind. So
same.
I feel like my view is a little different for this one, because it was me and AP, unfortunately my pod co-host that couldn't make it, but
yeah,
me and him were blind solving, and we made it all the way up to, I think it was that decoy step where everyone got stuck, and then we were just like, man, I think we were going for like 5 hours at that point, and we were like, man, it seems like everyone got stuck. But I will say, like, leading up to that and just, feeling the map blind and going in without knowing anything, I think I really want to do that going forward, because I feel like being able to experience everything for myself, like getting the wonder weapon and just, seeing the whole map. I mean, the map is gorgeous. So, like,
oh yeah,
I couldn't get enough of how good the map looks,
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
So blind solving it, you got all the way up until the decoy step?
If I'm remembering correctly, yeah, that's where we made it.
Wow. That is
Damn,
so impressive, because me and Devi have talked about how we're like not like I'm you know, trademark, I'm the Easter egg guy. But dude, hunting for it, like I don't have two brain cells to rub together, so that's super impressive that you're able to get up to that point.
Well, I will say it was there was definitely a lot of luck involved. So a lot of licking walls that, you know.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. That's so. Do you plan on, like, for the finale and future Zombies titles? Do you plan on doing the full blind solve, or like until it's found, or what's the game plan going forward?
So like what really deterred me from doing it before was just like it's kind of like how you were saying, Shorby, like how am I gonna figure this out? Like how it's like with the decoy, like how am I gonna figure that out, man? Like that's what deters me from wanting to do it. But after experiencing it and actually figuring out steps, like we get so hyped every time we figured out a step, and like we had such a great time doing it that I think we're gonna be doing it going forward for sure.
Sweet. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Currently my thoughts with Kowakujō, like I love it still. Ripping the Easter egg, it's just, I guess, like further cemented that like this is one of my favorite quests ever. Not only are like the steps themselves actually fun, like I don't have an issue with any of the steps. It's also just the fact that you're like solving a murder mystery, basically. It sort of like keeps your mind engaged while you're doing it, like you're actually progressing towards something. And then there's just like, I think Kowakujō does a really good job of like rewarding the players when they do something correctly. For instance, when you get like the 3 pieces of evidence for each category and you go and place them on the shelf, you sort of unlock the, like, I guess like the next portrait, like sort of the next scene that you see in terms of the ultimate, like the killing of Takeyo's dad. Yeah, it feels super rewarding playing it. It's a ton of fun. It's just, I guess, been cemented even more as being a top 5 map for me. So yeah, I love Kowakujō. It's phenomenal, and it's really fun seeing like the reception it's gotten from people in the community who, I guess, sometimes aren't big fans of modern zombies. Like people, a big thing is people saying, like, a lot of times they'll say this is the best modern zombies blank, and it's like, just say it's the best, not like like you're allowed to praise some modern zombie stuff. So it's really cool seeing people sort of drop the modern label from that and just say like Kowakujō is one of the best experiences we've had in zombies. It's so good. I love it. What are your thoughts now that we've sort of let it marinate for a little bit, Mr. Devi?
Yeah, man. It's still super ripe, super fresh to me. I'm having a great time. I love, like, I'm trying to get off the train of the hunt. It was just like the infrastructure of how the quest works with its non-linear aspects. Just it made for it facilitated such a fun hunt, and it was really such a thing. So trying to ignore that, yeah, I'm still digging it really hard. This week I have been going for as many of the cursed relics as I can. I have all of them except the dragon egg, because I failed last night. I forgot that you have to get the guess correct on the first try, and I got the answers right, but I forgot to turn the dial.
Oh, dude.
That's tough.
It killed me. And then I was like, oh crap, like let me put it in correctly, and I got it, and then the Path of Sorrows did not drop, and I realized my mistake. Yeah, the relic hunt has been very fun. I shouldn't say the hunt. I haven't been hunting for them, but seeing the completions in like the Zone X Discord and going for those has been a ton of fun. Like the film reel has been a notoriously hard trial for a lot of people, but I had a great time with it, and I'm curious to see once I have them all what relics I'm actually gonna run. The dragon egg, as I've yet to get it, looks super exciting. I've sort of seen the effects. It doesn't do anything on Astra because there's no way to get rid of Oscar, but like on Ashes, for example, you can get obviously the Zur says, but you can get abominations, you can get amalgams. And then with the specials, you can get the Doppelgasp, but you can also get the Necropincer, the Oni, the Shock Mimic. So it sounds like something that's really gonna spice up the gameplay experience. So I'm excited for that.
Are you gonna go after that Dark Ops with the what is it? It's with the mannequin and the film reel, I believe.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I believe there's a Dark Ops to do the voice crack.
Shout out Shelly.
Hey, shout out Shelly. Thank you
I'm
for your
the
sacrifice,
victim.
Zatchy. We appreciate you.
Yep, I'm the victim this time. But I believe it's you use the mannequin and the film reel relics, and you just beat the Easter egg. I believe. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Don't quote me, but I believe that's what it is.
Okay.
So the mannequin is the armor. You don't get any armor, not even a single plate, unless you get gold. And then the film reel is you only get one pack-a-punch weapon. It sounds easier than Aether Ruler, which I've yet to attempt.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
same.
Maybe that'll be me dipping my toe in the water. By the way, have you completed the quest? Have you done the boss fight, Zatchy?
Yes, I think it was day 2. Or no, sorry, because it wasn't solved day 2. Whenever that first day that a guide came out, me and AP hopped on there, and we just wanted to get it done as fast as we could because I just wanted to see the ending cutscene so bad.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of, what did you think about the boss fight, and what did you think about the ending cutscene? If you've been following the story, which sounds like you have.
Yep. So I think with Black Ops 7 in general, the boss fights have been awesome.
Yeah.
They really
Oh my
took a
God.
step forward from Black Ops 6 for sure. I think Black Ops 6 kind of laid the blueprint of the boss fights that they were going for, and then they really built upon that for Black Ops 7. Especially this one. I mean, the boss fight arena it's gorgeous with the volcanoes in the background. I mean, you got the dragon flying around. It visually looks amazing. I didn't
sure.
think it was the toughest boss fight ever, honestly, but I think it was still, had its challenging aspects for sure.
And then what about the cutscene?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm a big storyline guy, like I was saying. So I was expecting a little more of a tease into the next map with this ending cutscene.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm still pretty happy with it. I mean, getting all these full CGI cutscenes, they look so cool.
I agree. I think for all of BO7's greatness, I do think that they are lacking in these these ending cutscenes. They aren't all bad. I know Debbie sort of gave the rundown of sort of his appreciation for some of the ending cutscenes, and I did change my mind a little bit after that because I definitely was sort of overlooking some of the cooler details of some of them. But I don't know. I guess when I compare them to the BO4 ones, the BO4 ones are just so Blood will sort of tug at the heart, and then you have the Alpha Omega one, which is great as well. Not to mention Tog, they're all great cutscenes. So I do think that it's lacking a little bit here in BO7. But again, they're not bad necessarily. It's not the Tombs ending cutscene, which I'd rather have nothing at that point. But hopefully, to your point, Zatchy, it would have been nice seeing a little bit of a sneak peek into what the next map looks like, or obviously don't show everything, but in BO3 we end GK and it shows us revelations in big bold text with the I forget the name of the design, but the design on it, that's a good way of getting the community hype, and I don't think that they achieved the same thing following such an amazing map like Kowakujō. I think they left some food on the table with that one.
Yeah, I feel like there was, especially you were saying, BO4 and BO3. I feel like those cutscenes would leave me wanting so much, really looking forward to what's coming next. And I feel like they did a really good job kind of teasing what was coming next. And with the cutscenes in Black Ops 7, I feel like after most of them, I'm just I wouldn't say confused, but I'm like, all right, like I feel like there could have been a little more
Yeah.
storyline implications thrown into at least like a dialogue or like a quote. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, not anything crazy. I still really like them.
Yeah. I was yeah, it did really, the ending for this one felt very like, all right, time for the finale. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
That is what it was. I would have been very happy with like I wish the warden would have shown up with like a fine, I'll do it myself sort of like seeing him like prepare like, all right, that was all of them, like now you got to get through me. Like I wish we would have got a little something with the warden. I'm sure the intro cutscene is going to be exactly what I'm asking for in that respect. But yeah, it's definitely the weakest one. I agree. But yeah, Shorbsy, you put it well that they left a little meat on the bone for sure.
Yeah, like the only time we hear of the warden, we don't even see him. Like in terms of like ending cutscenes, is at the end of Astra. I know we see him again at the beginning of Paradox, but I do feel like we should be seeing the warden more. And to your point, Debbie, it's like, like we free a Shadowsmith, and then it's just like Avengers assemble to the next map, and I don't know. I feel like maybe that's something that they improve upon in the next COD or something, but yeah, with all the greatness of BO7, that's definitely something that's lacking a little bit, to say the least. I will say with the relics, I tried to get which one is like the drumming thing where I like drum to open the portal.
What was that?
The Samantha Says thing about
what you're talking about.
I don't remember what relic that is. Wait. You can do. I think it's around 21. So,
yeah,
but it's not the druid shown. It's the crap. Which one is that? It was the first one I did because it sounded super simple.
Okay, well the point of me bringing that up is because during the HVT wave, the first HVT wave, the HVT would spawn in behind a barrier. And it wouldn't be like in the barrier where I could see them. It would be around the corner.
Oh.
And the only reason I could see him was with depth perception. So I died in the trial because I just couldn't kill the HVT because he was always, and like I would go to different areas to try to despawn him, get him to spawn back in. He would spawn back in and then just chill again around a corner where I couldn't see any of them. That was just one of many bugs in what's been the buggiest map we've gotten since like BO4. But just wanted to, just complain because that was the first time I tried to get a relic on Kowakujō, and of course I just got some nonsense like that happening in my game.
That's...
I will. Oh, sorry, Debbie.
Go ahead. You're the guest.
I was just gonna say I will say if I were to complain about something in Black Ops 7, it would be the bugginess of relics and their trials and going for them. That has probably been the cause of most of my frustration playing Black Ops 7 is just getting bugged and failing a trial or not being able to go after a relic anymore after getting around 60 or something along those lines.
Yeah. All the great games have bugs though, so it's a sign of
very fair.
Sort of a curse and a blessing.
It was the gramophone relic, by the way.
Okay.
When you mentioned that, I immediately thought back to like on Ashes so many times like Ravagers would do that sort of like hide in the barrier thing. I feel like they still do, but I haven't gone back to an Ashes survival map or the main map in a little bit, so I don't know if that's fixed. But I do you remember during like the beta when they would just like be floating like in the sky, like they would just like be little bundles of Ravager
flesh? Yeah, I think that would happen when you like threw Casimir down, and they would do all sorts of wonky stuff. It would be like, where the heck is this last Ravager? And then you would just hear it's like little like cry thing from far away, and he's just like doing a cannonball like stuck in time in the barn or something. It's like, when did this happen?
Yeah, guys, if you thought it's buggy now, you should have seen the beta.
Yeah, you're only
Played
finding
the
it if
game.
you have like depth perception, or if like you just like hear like a lone Ravager cry like across the map and just have no idea what's going on.
What? Speaking of bugs, some patch notes came out today. Today's the 2nd, as we're filming, and some patch notes came out, and they did not mention anything about fixing the TED tasks or the power-ups, which are insanely messed up right now. I don't know how true this is because I haven't gone back to anything since the map's been out, but apparently, like, at least for the power-ups, like, they're busted on every map. This is a game-wide
Oh, really? Okay.
issue, so I've heard. Yeah, that's a huge shame, and I hate to imagine it's like really deterring people from like experiencing this map, which for all intents and purposes is absolutely incredible, but such nasty things that are plaguing the launch of this map. Yeah, it is unfortunate to say the least, but I'm curious to hear what you guys got to say.
You can go ahead, Zatchy.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really. I will say there's one step that I have been running into that just doesn't seem to want to work for me, and it's the step with the you use the new tactical, the Neko, what is it, the Neko cat or whatever it's called. When you're throwing that into the circle of paw prints, when you have to follow the paw prints.
Yes.
So when you have to throw it into that little circle, it just does not want to go into it. And maybe I'm doing it wrong, or maybe there's a certain technique, but I can't seem to get it first try at all.
I think I might have your, because I was dealing with the same thing, and if you're having that problem by what is it, depth perception or like double tap, or I don't know like the names of those areas, but
Yep.
It could be. I'm not saying this is your case, but I was like, dude, why is this thing not like gravitating towards like the center of the paw prints? If that like section of lava is like hardened over, then the cat can't jump out of the lava and like get eaten by the abomination, so it won't allow the tactical to be dragged into that like circle of paw prints.
That could definitely be it. I think you might be onto something there.
That's not my idea. I don't remember who said it. It was probably Shelly, since anytime we don't know who said something, it's Shelly.
It's always Shelly.
But yeah, so I was having trouble with that, and I was like, dude, I've thrown like 6 of these stupid cat things at the circle, and it's not going in. And then, of course, you just need to, if you have like a bunch of Semtexes or impacts or something, then you can like blow up that hardened area, and it goes into, which is such a sick thing, by the way. You could blow up like the hardened lava, and it'll go back to like regular lava, and then the cat can jump out, or of course just like wait until it ends up doing it naturally.
Gotcha.
Wow.
I'll definitely have to give that a try then.
Yeah, that's
No
the
kidding.
technique, because I was dealing with the same thing and thought it was a skissue, but no, it's just a well-designed step, honestly, because it wouldn't make any sense for the cat to be able to jump through the hardened part of it.
Well, I'm glad I can not blame it on my skill then.
No, I'm glad you brought it up, because I would not have known that was. But you're right, Shorbs. It totally makes sense. Damn, that has messed me up so much. I was going for the dragon egg. Or no, it was the Valkyrie helmet, I think. One of those. Valkyrie helmet. I was going for that last night, and I was super quick, and I upgraded the Maneki Nekos before I had even summoned the Abomination. And yeah, it just wasn't, because like if you get close enough, it will just gravitate to the center. I guess, unless the lava's hardened. And I was like, oh crap, like does it not work if they're upgraded? So I just left the game.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's tough.
Obviously it was pretty early because I didn't have the Wonder Weapon, but yeah, okay, that makes so much more sense. Yeah, you just saved me, Shorbzy and Zatchy, and probably Shelly.
Yeah, other than that, I haven't been able to go after the relics yet in Kowakujō. I have all of them that have been found, so there's that last one on Totenreich still. But I have all of them up to Kowakujō, and I actually after we get off here, I'm probably gonna shoot over there and go do some relics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like Debbie, you mentioned issues with only having one drop cycle, and then you said TED tasks as well. I haven't noticed anything. Are they like not spawning in frequently or something? I don't know the issues with the TED tasks.
I think that one in particular is tied to save and quit, where if you save and quit, there's a large chance that they might just never come back for you.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
I
just
know
never save and quit, so that's
yeah.
better way.
Sure, and I mean, I've seen stuff too related to saving and quitting during the boss fight, which I don't know why people are saving and quitting during a boss fight.
I don't. I've seen so many people say that, and again, it's not, like people, it'll be like they don't have, or they have like the wrong gun or something. I feel like wouldn't you just like thug it out at that point and just try to beat it with that? Like that's what I would do. I'd be like, well, this is what I got. Like better, like the cat's good enough. If you have like the Mark II or something, that'll help as well. But yeah, it's not even just like a Kowakujō thing. I've heard so many people say like, yeah, I saved and quit right before the boss fight or in the boss fight or something. I'm like it's, I don't know, it's right there. Like the end of the egg is right there. Why not just finish that out and then save and quit? I don't know. Maybe I'm just unk.
No, personally, I would just see it through. I'm there. I'm
just
seeing
tank
it
it.
through. Yeah, exactly.
I think it is skishy stuff because like if you should be well equipped going in, obviously, and not only that, I feel like part of it is to like cheese if you fail sort of thing, like because if you were to save and quit, you could then progress around and just go into the boss fight again. So I think that's people trying to be a little sneaky and not take their well-deserved L's.
Yeah, the slide dogs. It's funny you mentioned the like not being quite set up, because I did want to mention I think it's Dravikar's Blessing, the first one you get in the boss fight.
Yeah,
I think that is a fantastic workaround to like people like finishing the quest before the boss fight and then having to spend a few rounds to like get set up and everything, because I don't know if you guys know what you get from that, but it's a tier 3 Pap Crystal, I think an ammo mod, and then a perk, maybe a score streak as well, so something along those lines. Because I know
Sorry.
I was just gonna say like a big thing with Astros, because that quest was completed so quickly, at least like in my games. Like half my time on the map was spent just getting boss fight ready, because I had already completed the egg pretty quickly. So I think Dravikar's Blessing is a very good workaround to that, where it's like, that you don't have to, get whatever, like if you have an AR that's only like tier 1 Pap or tier 2 or something, and that's what you want to use for the boss fight, you can just go in, you don't have to like waste time like getting set up and everything, because that with Dravikar's Blessing you're getting the Pap Crystal and the perk and everything. So yeah, I'm a really big fan of that. It sort of is a great, I guess, alternative to wasting a few rounds getting points when you're already good to go for the boss fight.
Yeah, I want to, like, it was a great surprise going into the boss fight for the first time and getting those rewards. And I want to say that I think you can get a Pap 4 crystal if you're lucky in Cursed.
Really?
I think so.
I did see a Pap 4 crystal thing about that. I don't know if you have to be, if it's just Cursed related, or if you have to be in tier 3 where Pap 4 is already an option. Yeah, I'm totally unsure on that. But I did see that, and that is nutty. And I didn't think about what you brought up, Shorbzy, about it being helpful, of course, like just to avoid having to grind and like, I guess, synthetically have to up the rounds and make the boss fight more difficult just to try to make it a little easier on yourself. So no, that's a great point. When we first did it, we didn't take any of the blessings just because we were like, we were gonna save it for phase 3, and then phase 3 with Killjoy and
Death Machine,
some of the score streaks, it was non-existent, so we didn't even get to see that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then just in my other or I don't know if I saw somebody else like get the blessing, and then I was like, oh, I gotta do that like every game now, or if I got it on my own. But yeah, now it's like it really is such a nice thought where it's like I don't have to. I think you used a good word, Debbie. Like synthetically, like boost up like 5 rounds because I'm trying to save up all these points. I could just go in, get the Pap Crystal. Like it's a good way of Treyarch rewarding people for sort of finishing the quest as early as possible.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And it's especially an issue talking about Cursed. I mean, obviously Cursed is notorious for, having to take a little more time to get things set up, of course, with how the point system functions. But I do enjoy it. I mean, I've been rocking the ride-in with whatever that aftermarket part is that turns the bullets to like a shrapnel, and you get a ton of points. That's my point gun for Cursed Kowakujō.
Is there a ride-in wall buy?
It's in the Flower Garden.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I don't really.
You don't know map names.
Hang on, let me think. The Flower Garden would be. Where's the Flower Garden?
Right side of the map. Yeah, right side of the map. Yeah, you go right from spawn.
I remember that was a thing while we were hunting. I don't know how you feel about like the compass and stuff, ZatchyBoii, but for guides and stuff, they're like, yeah, go over to the kitchens. I'm like, just say like the stamina up room or like the depth perception room or something. Like that's how I roll. I don't know about this. I don't know what these kitchens are you speak of, but one of us had to tank it and turn on the compass, which is just such an eyesore. But yeah, I guess as a side note, Zachy, do you just run everything for like the Cold War mechanics and everything, or do you anything you turn off?
So I mostly play Cursed. Like that's where I spend the majority of my time playing zombies.
Yeah.
The old point system just feels so good to me that I have a hard time playing standard mode. And with some of the relics that you can put on too to make it even more like classic mode, and then I put on the standard HUD or the classic HUD, so
yeah,
I try to make it as close, at least visually, as I can to the older games, but I do really enjoy the new mechanics.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
People have definitely bullied me for having certain things up. Maybe some people that are part of this right now. Yeah, like over time, it has all just dwindled to essentially what Cursed mode looks like. Like the minimap, I was fine with. I have the minimap in standard. I don't have it in Cursed. I don't really care either way. It's more information, but yeah, definitely got some comments like, why is the minimap there? And so I got rid of that, and then I think it was probably Shelly that I think I was streaming, and they're like, why do you have damage numbers on? I'm like, I was a big Borderlands player, and damage numbers are infectious to see in that game, so I just left them. But now they're gone, and I'm like, okay, I can see a little more clearly. I get it. I do get it.
You're about to be, and if enough people complain, you're gonna play with like the fully redacted HUD where it's just the gun on your screen basically.
Yeah. It's so funny you say that because probably on a different podcast I mentioned that, like, because in BO6 they had that one that was called redacted and it was just nothing, but they don't have that here as like a HUD option, but you can just go to
turn everything off,
the HUD widgets, and you can just select off, and it is the same thing. Okay. Which made me very happy for like thumbnail purposes.
Okay.
But yeah, wait, what's the next topic? Oh yeah, we're so professional over here.
Yeah,
hey, you guys are killing it.
So, yeah, how are you guys feeling about Kowakujō, particularly as it sits with the other maps of Black Ops 7? What are we thinking? Where does it rank right now? At least this isn't gonna be gun to your head sort of thing, and I'm sure opinions are going to change later, but as it stands right now in the honeymoon phase, Zachy, where do you rank Kowakujō in terms of BO7 maps?
So this may be a little biased as Takio is my guy, but I Kowakujō is my favorite map so far. I just think with the way the map looks, and it was a pretty lengthy Easter egg, I'd say, compared to the other ones at least.
Yeah.
And it just really gets you involved in different aspects of the map. Like with the Fisher, you have to fill up the bag with ash for one of the steps. Like it's not just a map feature that's there to annoy you or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's little things like that. And with each iteration of BO7, I feel like it's been getting better and better. So I have a hard time not putting Kowakujō on top.
Shorbz?
Yeah, very well put. I mean, I glazed Kowakujō last week. It's definitely my favorite map in BO7, and that's comparing it to 4 other maps that I absolutely adore and a 5th map that I'm definitely gonna adore. I sort of always try to think about like where sort of a map will like rank for me. Put out my my top 10 rankings that everybody cared about and asked for on Twitter. And yeah, so Kowakujō right now, and I don't think it's changing, is my favorite map in BO7. It's I think my 3rd. It's ranked 3 for me right now, like all time. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it's being compared to maps like Ashes and Totenreich that I absolutely adore, and it's still sort of like beating those out. I think the main sort of separator between Kowakujō and the rest of BO7 is the quest. It's like it's top tier. It's one of my favorite quests ever. So yeah, I think I it's so weird because I want to say that Treyarch is sort of like, people are sort of comparing it to BO2, how it sort of like keeps leveling up as like the DLCs come in, but like it started off so good with Ashes, and then like Astra is a great map as well, and Paradox, you know, me and Devi love. I don't know how you feel about it, Zatchy, but it really feels like the whole I guess offering of BO7 is phenomenal, but I will say it does feel like it is sort of, it just feels like it's ramping up towards the finale, which I think is like full expectations of it being amazing. So yeah, huge fan of Kowakujō, especially, you know, comparing it to the rest of BO7. It's my favorite. So what are your thoughts, Mr. Debbie? How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, it's so hard, man. I don't want to cop out, but it's like there is a lot of bias involved with, obviously it's the newest map, it's so recent still. I had an experience unlike any other with the hunt, and that was just such a gratifying thing for me, who's been a zombies player through and through for 16 years at this point. Like it's tough. I could definitely put it up there. There's just so many things to love, like outside of the things I mentioned, like the quest, its non-linear aspect, like for me is like it's a first, and that was so gratifying. And obviously the aesthetics are, we've never gotten a map that looks like this, like even close, and that is such a huge thing as well. Also a Takio lover over here, so there's more bias for you, but I could easily see myself putting this at the top. I mean, it is going against many heavy hitters like Ashes and Totenreich, and yeah, I don't know how it's gonna end up by the end. If you ask me in a year, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really, really hard for me to rank these maps. Even some maps that people would argue are weaker, like Astra or Paradox. I'm a huge fan of those maps. So yeah, for now I'll lay my bias on the table and put Kowakujō right at the top with you guys.
Ooh, nice.
And yeah.
So real quick, I have sort of a question on the fly. It's a different question for both of you, but and it's based off what you guys said. So Debbie, so Ashes was your favorite all time previously. Does that make Kowakujō your favorite map of all time?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because yeah, I've sort of like analyzed, like, is Ashes still my favorite? And damn,
it's so good. It's so good.
But I I freaking love Ashes. I love the vibe and aesthetic of it so much, and the boss fight is so unlike any other, and I love the design of not just Faith Arion looks wise, but the design of the fight itself. It does have like those collectathon aspects to it. By technicality, if Ashes is still my favorite and I'm putting Kowakujō above that, then by technicality, yes, it is. I'm gonna need a little more. I'll leave it there, but I'm gonna require a little more thought on that question, though.
Okay. And then Zachy, again, putting you on the spot here. Just a lot of people's least favorite map in the game is Paradox. I don't want to assume that about you, but my question for you was going to be like, what is your least favorite map, and how do you feel that stacks up compared to the rest of them? Like what I would say is it's either Paradox or Astra, but I still absolutely love both of those maps. So like that's not really saying a whole lot. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so like initially seeing that it was Nuketown, I had my expectations kind of low. You know, like I wasn't trying to be negative, but I wasn't expecting anything crazy. And I will say it did kind of blow my expectations out of the water.
Hell yeah.
And saying that it's my least favorite map, and I'm not trying to say it's bad. I just think it's, you know, it's a, you know, looking at every other map, you know, every map I feel like is so great. And the Easter egg for Paradox is a great time. Like I think the, you know, all the little games and stuff with that was such a cool little addition that they did for the Easter egg.
So good.
Yeah, but like I said, I feel like some people are saying like, oh, Paradox is the worst map in the game, but like, yeah, it might be, but like it's still a good map. Like I feel like saying it's the worst map is giving it a negative, you know, connotation, when you could, you know, you could say it's not the greatest map in the game, but you know, it's still a good map. Like I still enjoy playing it.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's like Shadows being the worst map of BO3. It's like still a great map, but like, you know, ZatchyBoii's right there. Yeah, just want to get your thoughts on that. I know, you know, me and Debbie are BO7 truthers. It obviously seems like you're in the same boat. So, yeah, good to hear.
Yeah, our expectations were actually, I think, pretty high for Paradox too, and I was still very, very happy with what we got. I was very pleasantly surprised. Obviously, the quest being the massive standout. For the play space that we got, they did an incredible job at, like, I don't know, it's a very involved quest. It's very story driven, and the hunt is super notorious just for like, I guess like ratio of hunt time to like playable space. It's absolutely nutty.
That was so funny. Just
Paradox surprised us in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it being the longest modern quest is so like fitting, just because of course the smallest map that like nobody has expectations for is going to be the longest quest, up until of course we got Peak last weekend. But yeah, really hoping we can it was sort of a dead drop for last week, and sorry to continue dragging this conversation on, but Zachy, would you want a similar like hunt length to Kowakujō's for the finale? Like, did you appreciate the multi-day hunts, or are you more of a just get the thing over with so I can see what happens with the quest and the cutscene and stuff?
Honestly, now that I joined the hunt for Kowakujō, so I always appreciated the Easter egg hunts, and it being a long one, I feel like I prefer, because, you know, I get home from work every day for that 2-3 days that it was going on, and you know the hunt's still cranking, and I'm
fun.
Like, let's go. Like I get to watch some more of it and even hop in and look for it if I want. So I feel like I definitely prefer the longer hunt.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. We're right there with you.
I've definitely gone back and forth, and I still don't know like am I gonna want to blind solve the finale map? I feel like it would be super gratifying, but then I might also be like putting myself at a disadvantage as a content creator to not be someone that like is like just waiting for it to be solved and then jump right into it. You know, it's tough, but it was just such a gratifying experience for Kowakujō, just being a part of that I think I am gonna at least be alongside everyone in the march to figuring it out until it is. A blind solve might be a little too much depending on how crazy Kevin Drew and the team go for this last map. I think obviously they're gonna see the positive reception towards like the community coming together for something like this, and hopefully inject some of that into this finale map. So yeah, I'm very unsure of how things are gonna go. It's gonna depend how long the hunt lasts at all, and then just how I'm feeling about it. But I would love to do something like that if schedules sort of work out that way.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like how you guys were saying there. It feels like they're building up to something, and obviously, you know, it's the final map, so why wouldn't they be? But
yeah,
in this game especially, it feels like it's really been building to this last map. So I feel like they're probably going to go all out and try to make it a pretty difficult solve, especially with the way that Kowakujō went and how, you know, the hunt unfortunately ended.
Yeah.
But I think they want to repeat that, and they're probably going to try and do some of the same things.
I really hope you're right, Zatchy, because like like Treyarch knows how special that hunt was for the community. Like, they know it was. They had a whole tweet about how unfortunate it was with how it ended and everything. Like, they're aware that the community like absolutely craved a hunt like that. And yeah, I'd be surprised if like their goal, obviously it's already like they've already put the finishing touches on it and everything. I would assume, maybe not, or they're getting to that point at least. I would hope that they have sort of incorporated some crazier steps like the decoy step, which now that we've solved it, obviously a lot of people were like, yeah, there's no way like anybody was finding that. But yeah, to your point, Zatchy, I really hope that they, you know, sort of realize how awesome that hunt was, and they do a similar thing for the finale.
Yeah,
I think the best thing they can do for the Easter egg in the finale map, they should totally have a step where you throw 3 decoys at a random spot, because no one's gonna think that they did it again
Twice. That'd be so funny.
They gotta do it.
Yeah. Zatchy, real quick, what are your thoughts on steps like that, like the decoy? Like, do you feel like that's kind of like fluky, or do you appreciate stuff like that? Like the, you know, obviously the Rev Rock step is sort of the big one in terms of the community. I'm personally like, I love that stuff. Like, I don't care if the hunt goes 2 weeks. Like, I'm here for it. Like, how do you feel about those sort of, I don't know, you can call them like nonsensical steps in terms of the hunt?
Yeah, so I feel like I'm a little in the middle on this, because I do appreciate steps that make sense and really kind of make me feel like I'm a part of the story, and that I'm doing significant things for like the storyline and the lore and stuff like that. But then again, if that's all they did, the hunts would probably all be short, because if you're just doing things that make sense, you know, I do appreciate a step like that that'll trip you up, and really, you know, it's something so niche and so unique that you wouldn't think to do it just because it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
They can't be too intuitive with it, or it's gonna be too simple.
Yeah, exactly.
And I for that step in particular, I wish something like pointed us there a little more, because I don't know how anyone would have figured that out besides just blindly doing what we were doing for almost 60 hours. Like,
Right.
yeah, I do wish there was a little, like, even just a riddle or something, like a very hard riddle, please. But
A cipher. Give us ciphers, Trevor.
Please.
oh my god, I've been asking for ciphers in Zombies again for so long.
Yeah.
I just like the intel, just like throw a little thing on it and let us crack it. Yeah, that step in particular is so tough. I wish something, if you look hard enough, instead of looking for what the random step is, but you look hard enough for like what everything is pointing you towards, and it being sort of something that you can follow, just make it hard to follow. I would be happier with something like that, because yeah, I don't want it solved too quick, of course, but man, I don't know how we would have done that without sort of the leaked information that got out.
I will say, now that we know what the step is, I do sort of look at those like windows differently, and I'm like, those aren't like those are like, I guess initially when it was found, I was like, that is not obvious at all. But now that I look at them, I'm like, like, I guess those aren't just like set dressing of the map. I guess that does make, like, they just feel, I guess, a little bit more obvious now that we know like what the step is and what to do and all that.
Maybe
I'm tripping. I don't know.
no, that one is tough for sure. And I was sort of looking to like how it's placed in the map itself. Like, we get the apple from here and we bring it here, and then that's the merchant, and then you have where the gardener's at. Like, does it sit in a good spot, like, to sort of like, if you found 2, you can kind of gauge where like number 3 map is. Yeah. And I think so. And Shelly again, like, was talking about, we need to do something in the training area, is what it's called, Shorbsy. And sure enough, that was what was holding us up. But yeah, that's the only thing that could have pointed people there, I think, which, fair enough. That, at least that is something, and so I'll give them that.
Yeah, it was sort of in like its own unique area, which you said Shelly sort of mentioned that. I also remember when I was watching Zombie Zone, I think they were tuned into like Kingman, his stream, and he was also sort of using the same philosophy where it's like, okay, we've done stuff here and here, like we should probably, like, if this sort of general area of the map hasn't been used, I'm sure the next step is somewhere like in that area. So some of that's Easter egg hunting savvy that I just don't have. I would not have ever thought about that. I'd just be, licking the walls until somebody ended up finding the stop.
Yeah, that's like kind of like how I was saying, we were just licking walls when we were trying to blind solve it, and we just kind of got lucky a few times. There was a couple times where, like, so how we got the wonder weapon, and there's those lanterns all around the map, and I was trying all game to see if I could get them to light up, and I couldn't. And so when we got the wonder weapon, I was like, hey, like, you just do me a favor and shoot one of these. And when it lit up, I was like, oh, no way.
Here we go.
Yeah, literally. All right, what do we got to do now? But yeah, it's funny because we had another buddy that was doing the blind solve with us too, and he does this for every single map, and he's like, I guess kind of experienced with doing it, and he said, sometimes you just got to solve one thing, and then you'll solve like 4 steps after that, just because like it's kind of dominoes and they'll start to fall. So that was kind of it. Once we figured out that lantern step, and then the next couple steps after that kind of fell into it, and we just, because like things started spawning around the map and stuff, and we're like, oh, like we should try this there, and like, stuff like that. But it was fun. It was a great time. Like I had a really good time doing it.
For sure. Yeah. With that said, we touched on it briefly, but we gotta talk about some of the things that we might want in particular for the finale map. Maybe some things we feel like have been missing throughout the BO7 life cycle, or just something to switch up the pace. What are we wanting to be cool additions or just changes come the finale map? And whoever wants to start, go for it.
I'll give the floor to you, Shorbsy.
Oh, it's all me now? So like just some things that we're hoping for the finale map. Was that the
Yeah.
general question? Yeah. Obviously hoping it's a banger. That's the same thing across the board for all of us. Definitely like now that we've sort of gotten like the taste. I'm like chasing the high of the multi-day hunt, and
Yeah.
I'm really hoping we get that for the finale. We've seen in the Paradox intro cutscene, we've seen, I have to assume, at least an area of the map, with like the wardens, sort of like that like blue-red skybox thing with all the rocks and stuff around.
Yeah.
Part of me hopes that that's like the design of the whole map because it looks so sick, and then the other part of me hopes that like it's not, because I wouldn't want to like see the final map, or at least like the general atmosphere of the final map so quickly. But yeah, things I'm hoping for. I really want a long, elaborate quest that makes sense. Not elemental wonder weapons, but it was theorized, I don't think by Shelly. I think Shelly like sort of brought it to my attention from someone on Twitter. But basically like Shadowsmith elemental wonder weapons, where instead of like fire, ice, stuff like that, it's like each Shadowsmith has their own like effect on a wonder weapon. I think that would just be like top tier. I would absolutely adore that idea. Hopefully, obviously in practice it would work as well. So yeah, crazy atmosphere, great egg. Obviously, hopefully a long hunt comes along with that. The wonder weapon idea, obviously they've been crushing it with like the map unique score streaks / equipment lately. Hoping they continue that. And then I guess just wrapping the story up in a nice bow. That doesn't necessarily have to mean that like it ends, but some kind of sort of satisfying conclusion to BO7. Like I said, not necessarily the story, but I definitely want to like go into the next Treyarch title with excitement, which I probably will be doing anyway. But like we talked about, these ending cutscenes, at least in my opinion, haven't really paid off all that well, and I'm still itching to see. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Zatchy. What happened?
I don't know. He got
R.I.P.
bored.
Zatchy. He's like, shut up, Shorbs.
Oh, when the yapping becomes too much.
Yeah, he's like, he died of boredom. Do we have to invite him back in?
No, I gave him permissions. Oh.
Sorry, fellas.
Look,
Oh,
Zatchy,
man.
you can tell me to shut up, bro.
Jeez, sorry about that, fellas. It seems like my computer decided to brick itself real quick. But,
You're good,
we're back.
brother.
We got to leave that in, Debbie, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
of course it happens right now.
So yeah, just hoping they wrap up the story nicely. Yeah, that's basically the general thing that I'm looking for is. But I mean that's also just kind of what makes any map great in my opinion. Not the elemental, like not every map has to have elemental stuff, but I do think like the Shadowsmith themed elemental wonder weapon idea is just like it's so perfect, and we haven't gotten multiple wonder weapons, obviously like map unique wonder weapons on a map yet in BO7. And the last time they did it, they ended up being the greatest wonder weapons of all time on Citadel. So yeah, I think it'd be perfect, and I'm really hoping that they lean into that stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for in the finale. What about you, Zatchy?
Yeah, so I don't really have anything specific in mind, but what I really want to see is I'd like to see 4 elemental wonder weapons, kind of like how you were just saying, Shorzy. I feel like that, bringing back 4 elementals. We haven't seen it in BO7, have we? No. So I feel like now bringing it back, especially for the finale, would be a pretty good touch. And just, I want to see more of those map-specific features and those being incorporated into the Easter egg, like how I was saying with the Fisher, and with the the fishing rods in Totenreich. So I feel like it just more little map specific things like that. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, they got to go all the way with the map unique stuff, score streaks, equipment, maybe a little bit of both in this one or something else. That would be sick. A new perk would be awesome. Really would like a new perk / new ammo mod, but more so a perk. Now's my time to shine. Okay, what else?
Take the
An elite enemy would really just make my pants stiff. Yeah.
They're just airing out grievances right now.
No, I mean, dude, that whoever it was, but probably Shelly. That 4 elemental wonder weapons that are tied to Shadow Smiths. That is such a crazy shout, and it's very. Everyone, close your ears. Very Vanguard coded to me, with the like the specialist weapons, like being able to talk to you and stuff. I always thought that was such a cool thing. Like for all the grief mention, for all the Vanguard grief. The art direction and little things like that made it so much fun to me, and I think that would be a nice little like maybe callback inspiration sort of thing to that. Yeah, that would be fantastic. A boss fight, I think it's one of the dead drops, so I won't say specifically the Warden, but I think it's got to have a banger boss fight. I mean, I don't know how anyone would feel about it's like phases from each of the BO7 bosses, like the Warden's trying to like turn them back, and so you have to like fight them off sort of thing. I feel like that would feel a little too like maybe Revelations,
Yeah.
sort of like just stealing from all the past stuff. Although it's funny, Shorbzy, that you mentioned the like sort of the Warden's throne room, because that does feel very Revelations to me. Just like abstract bullshit is the
Yeah.
aesthetic.
Yeah.
But no, it does look fun, and as long as it feels a little coherent, I could be happy with that. Yeah, I think that's all I can say for specifics, because if I had some idea, and once we get teasers for it, we're gonna be theorizing even more. I hope that they don't tell us what they are going into it. I think that was a super cool thing that they did with Kowakujō. Maybe
You're saying
don't
for the wonder weapon.
Yeah. I wish they would do it with more things. Like, just say we have an elite coming and don't tell us what it is. I would say keep this map very under wraps in the marketing. Make it the end game of Call of Duty Zombies, and just be very hush hush. Give us what we need to know. Maybe just some pictures and video, some flyovers of what the environment might look like. And maybe some story stuff, giving us like a TLDR of the BO6 and 7 story so far and where this has all been leading. Yeah, I mean, that's just marketing stuff, but I think they need to hunker down and put all forces onto this thing to make it something special, because finale maps in COD Zombies can be a very mixed bag.
Yeah.
And I would hate for it to tarnish what has been like a front to back COD Zombies masterpiece, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So that's what
100%.
I'll go with. And you guys can give your thoughts if you'd like before we get into the dead drops this week.
Yeah, I will say with like the whole Warden's Room thing, and then you bringing up the new perk sort of connected the dots for me, but there is a drawing on Paradox of, I think it's the Warden's Throne with like spiders crawling on it.
Yep.
It's been leaked that the perk that we've been getting, or we've been supposed to be, speak idiot, the perk that we have been supposed to be getting, I'm gonna roll with that, is Widow's Wine. And obviously that's like spider related, so part of me wonders if like like one of the specials or like the sort of the dogs of the map will be spiders, and that will sort of tie into like the Widow's Wine theme. And maybe that's something that Paradox, like the drawings have leaked, because I really wouldn't like the Dark Heart was teased. Was anything on Totenreich teased in Paradox? Not to my knowledge.
You mean was anything on? Wait, no, you said it right.
Yeah. Like in terms of like those drawings.
I don't think so, but I'd be super curious to go back.
Yeah, I don't
Right, because the Kowakujō dragon, like Nixara was teased, and I'm wondering if that like throne drawing is a tease of maybe the special / maybe it's even a tease towards Widow's Wine coming back. I really hope that's the case, because that's very like ZatchyBoii pilled with like Widow's Wine and spiders and stuff. But yeah, just you sort of commenting on that made me remember the drawing on Paradox.
Yeah, Widow's Wine has been supposedly leaked. It was marketed. It was marketed to an MWZ, which is weird because it never came up, like with the name and everything. So yeah, I guess we got to play some Paradox and get some answers on. Because
licking the ground instead of licking the walls.
Yeah.
Now I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Do you think we need a new perk?
That's a great question to ask both of us. Yeah, me and Devi are on, like, I wouldn't say I'm like anti new perk, but the sort of the comment I always made in regards to this is like our screens are starting to look like Noah J thumbnails. With like the 400 perks, you have perks that like I've never seen with like, yeah. So of course I say that sort of tongue in cheek, because I think we would be up to 12 with Widow's Wine, which is a nice, clean, even number. And like I do think that all but confirms that we are getting a new perk with the finale. So if it was a new perk for every map in BO7, I would be against that. But the fact that we haven't gotten one in a while, and it would take it up to a nice clean 12, which I'm pretty sure we can also see sort of a question mark on the Wonder Fizz machine for the 12th slot. I think it fits really well, especially if there is like a spider theme going on with the map. I'd be very happy with that, and I know Debbie would also be very happy with that.
Yeah, to answer your question, no, I don't think so. But I wish we would have got one in every single map in this game. That was one of the things that hurt me the most for BO3, was we only got Widows with Shadows of Evil, and we didn't get anything else, unless you count like, what is it, like Electric Cherry on Origins or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I just love what I call like the zeitgeist of COD Zombies, like the things that make COD Zombies stand out. Like it makes it its own like IP separate from all other fiction. Like you get the Pack-a-Punch, you got the perks like the ray gun, the wonder weapons, like those are all like such core aspects that I think like even if you want to like do a new story, reboot the franchise, like those are things that need to stay a part of the mode just to make it like feel like COD Zombies. And I think with perks falling in that, I would love to see them just get a little bit more love. I mean, I would of course prefer brand new ones as well, but
yeah,
Widow's Wine, why not just make us that little bit more overpowered for the finale, and then obviously we can go crazy on all the previous maps once it's out. But I'll leave it there and not rant again and again and again.
What about you, Zatchy?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, when I started hearing about the leaks of Widow's Wine, and I started thinking, all right, the next map it's gonna be Takio's map, and how we had the Widow's Wine kind of pool on ZatchyBoii. I was trying to, maybe there'll be a connection there, and that's how they'll add it in. They'll do a nice little mini boss with the reward being Widow's Wine, or free Widow's Wine. But I was really hoping it was going to be something like that in Kowakujō, where we'd get the new perk, and I guess not new, but new for the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we need a new perk, but I would like one. I mean, it's fun. It's fun always having new stuff to look at and new stuff to use.
Yeah.
So
Getting the elements and everything. Yeah.
exactly.
100%.
Yeah. No, you're definitely not the only one to connect those dots with the Tachyo map potentially having widows.
Yeah.
I was holding out for it too, but I think maybe Shorbzy's idea of the graffiti shown in Paradox, like, this is your last chance, like, make me happy. I think it might happen. I don't know.
I think it will. Like, I really, maybe I'm looking too far into it, but I really think I think they would add it in. Like, pretty sure that there is like a 12th slot on the Winter Fizz, and it's not occupied by anything. And like, maybe that's reading too far into it, but like, I think that's pretty strong evidence that we are getting a 12th, personally.
No, yeah. I'm holding out for it. With that said, we will get into the dead drops. We actually had one come in while we were filming this too, so we'll get to that at the end.
Okay.
I know we got a lot of questions from you guys this week, so thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a long pod. We appreciate you guys.
So yeah, we'll do this. I'll read them out, and then I'll give it to Zatchy first as the guest, then Shorbzy, and then we'll come back to me. Let's start off with Cinerax, who asks, should the end of the next map bring this story to a close and end the Warden? More importantly, should the story wrap up enough that when we get our next game, we see a brand new story take place, or maybe an actual return to chaos, which could be teased at the end of BO7?
So, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, especially with how Kowakujō has been going and the storyline implications that provided. I think that it's time for the Dark Ether story to be wrapped up, and I think it is going to be a boss fight to end the Warden, and more specifically, what I'm trying to think about is the new crew that we have, because I really like this new crew.
Yeah.
And we've seen Weaver, Carver, Maya. We've seen them for a little bit now, and I've been really enjoying them in Black Ops 7 as well. But just seeing like our old crew members come back with new alternate versions, and how they kind of had a different bringing together, if you would. And I've been really enjoying seeing them develop as a group. And so I'd like to see them move forward, but I just couldn't think of anything that would make sense without just completely ending everything. So I think it's time to move on from the Dark Ether, though. I think that's my overall point. I think it is time to move on.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems like you and I agree quite a bit. Like, I haven't cared about the actual crew members since BO4. And to your point, it is really nice seeing the Tempest crew in the game. Like, it actually makes me care about the characters again. Like, I've only played as Tachyo on Kowakujō because it feels, I guess, like the right thing to do when I'm playing the map and like solving the murder mystery, stuff like that. I guess I wonder if there's a way for them to end the Warden, like have us actually like get payoff, like have us going through these maps like pay off in the end, and we kill the Warden, but we also get to keep the Tempest crew.
I think so.
I'd be super interested to see how they end up doing that. If there was a way where it's like, I agree with you, ZatchyBoii. I don't care too much about like, I guess I don't agree with you because you said you enjoy the Requiem crew and stuff. Can't say I do at all. If there was a way that like the Requiem crew could be taken out and then, we wrap up the story with the Warden and somehow the Tempest crew just goes and does something else somewhere. Maybe they find out that there's an even bigger like evil going on in the Dark Ether. I guess that would be the ideal way for the story to wrap up for me.
Yeah, I think, and I was thinking about this while both of you were talking. I think seemingly the Tempest crew can persist outside of potentially defeating the Warden, just because it seems like from what we've heard, especially at the end of Totenreich, like the Dark Aether is like what holds everything together. So I think if that in particular were something that we were destroying, yeah, I think everything would go bye-bye. But if we're only taking down the Warden and his like sort of control over the Dark Aether, I don't think we necessarily have to lose out on everything. I don't know what effect that might have. I assume it's going to be something big as a finale map, but I think the Tempest crew can continue on. I don't know if that's what they're sort of going to do, because I don't know, to me it would be kind of strange if like the Tempest crew did continue, but this is also like the end of the Dark Aether saga, because they're sort of like of the Dark Aether. They're seemingly the incarnations of memories. So I don't fully know how that would work, but I do love them, and I like, to me, this is the most fascinating version of the characters we've gotten, full stop, which might be controversial, but I've been enjoying these guys so much. As for the Warden in particular, like, I don't know, it could be interesting to sort of have a kind of Thanos. I'm referencing Marvel all over the place this week. Like a Thanos, like we don't beat him at first. We go up against him and lose. You know, we've never really had something like that where the big bad just persists after the fact, and we're kind of left on this downer note. I could be okay with that, but they would have to do some fluffing to reinvigorate the story of the next game, instead of just like letting it go from 7 to 8. Like there would still need to be a large impact at the end of the story of BO7, even if you know, some things are still going to filter through to the next game. With that said, Cinerex, thank you for the question. Chorbsy, go ahead and give your thoughts.
I was just gonna say, just real quick side note, if they teased chaos at the end of the finale, in a good way, the community would absolutely explode.
Oh yeah,
it'd be so sick. Just wanted to throw that in there because Cinerex mentions it at the end.
No, yeah, they might kind of be in a box, like that. They might be scared to even tease it, just because they did it in BO6 and nothing came of it, and they got their shit kicked in a little bit because of that.
Dude, I was on the hype train, and I wish that everybody joined me on it. Can you imagine they finish the finale and then like Scarlet pops out and says, "Welcome to the party"? That'd be so stupid. Yeah.
As a BO4 like dumb brain, someone that hasn't experienced the story like other people have, I was excited for it. Just because it was two things that were apparently like sacred and distinct from one another, potentially recombining. So that was just exciting to me. Next up, we got Shelly, of course, who says, a perk becomes real and drinking it gives you the effects. You can alter the effects a little to be less combat/utility in game focused and more based on reality. Just keep the spirit. For example, Jugg for me would make me very tolerant to pain, and breaking a bone would be incredibly hard. Stuff like that. What perk would we want?
Oh, I mean, I feel like this might be I don't know, I might be in the minority, but it might be a no-brainer for me. Like, I feel like, especially with sports, like stamina up, that'd be kind of crazy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just being able to you know, sprint, not take fall damage. Like, how about that? And if we could have augments too, that would be pretty cool.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, that's a good one, especially with sports and all that. I feel like you could make a case for any of them. I actually really like the one that Shelly provided. Like that, without him even mentioning that, I feel like Jugg would be a great one. But I feel like taking that would be a cop out because he's mentioned it. So I'm gonna say Vulturade, just being able to like find money randomly around the place. I feel like that'd be a good time every now and then. You just pick up like $20, like under the car seat or something. So, yeah, I think mine would be Vulturade.
and you just like shit your pants every now and again.
Why
Like,
not? I mean, that already
stink.
happens without the perks.
I think potentially even better than Jugg would be either Quick Revive, which would be a more like sympathetic, like I could resurrect people. See, maybe is that what we're saying for Quick Revive, or is that too like off the wall?
No, I think that's
yeah.
a good real life application.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to be a little more selfish, I could do Who's Who,
Ooh,
and
okay.
just have endless life as long as I don't get spawned in like China or something.
Timer runs out. That'd be so funny. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think
Oh.
about that. What if I just had like Blaze Phase and it was just like, yeah, I just want to be able to like murder a group of people in front of me just by crouching or something ridiculous.
Or like Luna.
Just like, yeah, PhD. Oh my
Luna.
god.
Dude, Luna would be great. Just spawn in
Oh.
a dog next to you if you want to fucking hang out with a dog for a little bit. That'd be great.
I'm gonna go with Exo Stockpile.
Perfect.
Shout out Captain Caro.
Gross. Gross.
With that said, Shelly, thank you for that question. That's a really fun one. Next up is gonna be Warman, who says, would you rather have an easy quest and a super hard boss fight, or a hard quest and an easy boss fight?
I think it's good to have a variety, especially going map to map. Like, I feel like the Ashes boss fight is really hard, and it can be really hard, especially at launch. It was very, very difficult.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this because I feel like if you like have a variety and go map to map, kind of altering it, having like a hard boss and a hard quest, I feel like that's kind of the way to go about it. Because I feel like there should be that variety in a game to give you different experiences in each map.
I guess I'll ask it a little more gun to your head. Like if every map had to be easy quest and hard boss fight, or vice versa, what would you go with?
I think easy quest and a hard boss, so that I can just kind of zoom through the Easter egg and then really focus on kind of getting ready for boss. And I feel like the boss should kind of be that climax of the map anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like having the boss be the hardest part of it is probably the way to go about it.
I think that's actually, I mean, that's a pretty good point by Zatchy, but for me personally, especially when I look at like some of my favorite maps, I definitely prefer the hard quest and easy boss fight. I know that, like, I think the way Zatchy laid it out, where it was like the boss should be sort of this like really difficult finale to like the hunt or the quest that you just did.
Yeah.
But like yeah, I guess just like from my like playing experience, like some of my favorite maps are easy or hard quests with an easy boss fight, like Origins, Dead of the Night, like Kowakujō. Not, you know, like the steps themselves aren't like particularly like insanely hard, but they're like more complex, like elaborate quests. Not to mention ZatchyBoii, that's like the ultimate easy boss fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely go hard quest, easy boss fight personally.
I think I'm gonna side with Zatchy here, just because I agree that the boss fight should be the climax, and I think the main thing for me is like you can have a really good quest and it still be easy. Like I think a lot of the quest is not about the difficulty of it, but just like obviously the storytelling and how much fun it is to do. Like for me, like Kowakujō is a great example of it is a pretty easy quest, but it's phenomenal just because of how involved it is. And yeah, I think, I don't know. I've always said like a good quest is like hard to solve but easy to replicate, and I guess easy to replicate would then point towards like it is an easy quest, but I don't think ease in terms of like being able to replicate it necessarily points towards like good or bad. I think the storytelling behind it, the quotes from the characters while you're doing it, I think is something I much more care about when it comes to the quest. So yeah, in that case, give me a hard boss fight at the end. I I wish the boss fight in Kowakujō were harder, just so like people still like would struggle. Like, yeah, I figured out all the steps, but damn, that dragon's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah. With that said, Warman, thank you very much for the question. Next up is Thomas P16X, who says, if you had to stick one style of Easter egg forever, either the Kowakujō style or random steps you can do Sorry, I'll reword it. The Kowakujō style with random steps you can do simultaneously, or more puzzly or linear Totenreich style, which would you pick? So I guess it's asking linear or non-linear for a quest.
Oh, so I kind of like a non-linear because I kind of like the option to go about doing things in a map how I'm kind of feeling that day. I don't necessarily go into a map and do everything exactly the same every time.
Yeah.
So I feel like being able to do certain steps in different orders every time I'm playing can kind of give that different feel to the map every time I'm playing it. And I feel like, especially like going into like a new map, I feel like looking for those types of steps is, when they're not linear, can be a little more challenging. And it goes back to how we were saying I kind of like the longer quest.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I kind of enjoy the non-linear more. It kind of it gives you more options, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm right there with it. Yeah, that is a great point. I'm right there with you, Zatchy. Non-linear, basically, like, what my mind goes to is Origins, which is, of course, my favorite map and quest ever. Like, the idea of just, like, you're managing so many things at the same time. And if you don't, then, like, the rounds will really start to climb on you. I guess I just love that idea that, like, there's always something to do. And yeah, linear, I feel like it can get repetitive, and it's just less engaging in my opinion. So personally, definitely prefer the more like puzzly, random, like non-linear steps that you see on like Kowakujō, Origins, Dead of the Night, stuff like that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I think like Zombies operates at its best when it's like, this is the map, these are the guns that are on the walls, this is what you can get out of the box, like, but it's totally how you want to play it. It's very sandboxy, and I think a non-linear quest is sort of just a part. It would be a stronger part of that if it functions that way. And yeah, I'm totally fine with like sort of little like linear blocks where obviously with Kowakujō you can only get so far until you get to a certain point, and then once you do this thing it kind of opens up again. I'm fine with stuff like that, yeah, but in general I think letting it be something where like, okay, I know I need this gun for a step, and maybe it's only in the box, so therefore if I get it early I can do that step early, or if I'm just unlucky, like, it'll have to wait. I love stuff like that, and it just mixes up the game even more, and I think that's where the Zombies mode thrives, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
With that said, Thomas, thank you very much for the question. Next up, Dr. Tabadai, who asks, what 3 maps from any title would you take the Easter egg steps from to make your own? Lots of questions about Easter eggs. I love this.
Yeah.
So steal any 3 Easter egg steps.
This is a tough one, I feel like.
Just real quick, before you get into it, Zatchy,
Yep.
I guess I'm not fully understanding the question.
Oh, really?
Like, when it says to make your own, what does that mean?
That is a good question.
Does it mean like to
That
make
is-
your own Easter egg, maybe?
That's what I'm gonna assume. Like, I guess you could probably word it as like, what are like your 3 favorite steps, sort of thing. I'm gonna go with that, and I can talk to Doc later. But yeah, I think it's
Okay.
like, what are your 3 favorite steps that like,
Okay.
make the quest good?
But it does say maps from any title. Okay. For the sake of this, we'll just say 3 favorite Easter egg steps. But then when we talk to Doc, maybe we can readdress this for a future dead drop.
Perfect.
All right, so I think This might be a little controversial, but one of my favorite Easter egg steps is the bomb step in Gorod Krovi.
Wow.
Ah,
Only because of how it makes you feel when it kind of pops up on that screen for the quest.
Yeah.
It just kind of makes your heart start racing, and you're really just racing around the map trying to, defuse all the bombs. And I don't know, that's probably my number one. I really like that stuff. Number two, trying to think. I think encompassing the whole kind of the staffs, upgrading the staffs in Origins.
yeah.
I feel like that's maybe I'm wrong in kind of grouping all of them together. Maybe I'll just stick to one of them.
I mean that was gonna be mine, or one of mine as
Okay.
well. So yeah, if you want to go with that as well.
No, I won't go too in depth, and I'll let you elaborate more on it. But yeah, it kind of goes back to how you're saying you can kind of just do it how you want, and there's not one way to go about upgrading all the staffs, and you can kind of go with the flow of how you're playing the map and do things as you're in that area of the map. You know what I mean? So you're kind of just that's another step that I enjoy. Then for a third step, let's see. I was thinking too much about BO3. I'll try and pick something a little more modern.
That's okay.
Yeah. It's kind of a really, really simple step, but it kind of goes back to another, like, it kind of a little bit of a time thing with the going into the boss fight for Ashes, and you're kind of driving Tessie all around and collecting all the wisps. I feel like that was a pretty creative way to kind of launch you into the boss fight. And
Agreed.
with Tessie being a very unique, thing in Zombies, we haven't really had the chance to drive vehicles around much. But so I think I'm gonna go with those for my three.
Yeah, those are
Solid.
Yeah, all great steps. The bomb step is a great shout because I feel like a lot of people are not fond of the bomb step. But no, there is. I mean, even if you like pause the game, get the proper order down, like write it down and everything, there's still like that sort of thing in the back of your head that's like, what if I got it wrong and like I'm about to die when I interact with this bomb here? So that's a great point. There's really not a lot of steps that make you feel the same like intensity that does. But no, similar. I don't know if it really counts as like one step, but I'm gonna make it that way anyway. Just getting and upgrading all the staffs on Origins. I think those are like, it's so peak. Like just so much fun doing those, the different puzzles and everything. Just really, I don't know, it's so rewarding doing that, and then like finally getting the upgrade, and then having the stronger abilities and stuff. It just Origins does a great job of rewarding the player for going through the upgrade quest. So that would be one. I gotta mention the sharpshooter step from Buried. I say this with sort of an asterisk because I haven't played Buried in a while, like a long time. But like I know that I love the step. I've done it before. I see other people talk about it as well. Just the whole thing of like 4 people in different areas, like you can't even fact check each other. So when somebody messes up, like everybody's just grilling them. Like I don't know, it's just a fun like just like make fun of your friends kind of thing. And also like you have to be like on the ball with it too, because some of those spots where like the targets can pop up, they can be like, if you maybe aren't paying attention as much as you should, then you can definitely miss those. So that would be 2. Like very much looking forward to being able to do that again this month. By the way, as a side note, we're officially in BO1/BO2 port month.
Hey.
And then 3, of course, I gotta mention the Knight Salute step on Citadel de Mor, where you pick up one of the 4 greatest wonder weapons of all time. You aura farm with it in front of you do the incantation and then you aura farm in front of it, and then the Knight salutes you. You give him the sword. Oh, dude, it's so peak. I just love the sounds that they play as well, like specifically the the lion and the dragon swords, when you're doing it, dude, the sound that you hear when you do those two swords specifically is just, it's off the charts, man. So yeah, that's my probably top 3 Easter egg steps. I'm sure if I thought about it more, it might look a little bit different, but those sort of stuck out to me the most as I was going through the maps. What are your thoughts, Debbie?
I'm gonna go. It's funny because I also have 2 that are. I have an Origins and a Buried one. I'll do Round Infinity from Buried. Super creative step. I love the idea that it's like fate that they're gonna die there, and obviously the zombies are way overpowered at Round Infinity. For Origins, I would do the step where like a dozen panzers fly out. I think I would assume that's Unleash the Horde.
I think so.
Yeah, I love the idea of that, just because obviously at round 8 on your first game of Origins, like one panzer is like terrifying to you, and just like expanding on that and like, what are you gonna do now, idiot?
Right.
Well, once you get up to that point, I love that idea. And third, I have to give it to Hopscotch on Paradox. Very creative, and another step that you can like just like make fun of your friends for failing at. It's such a highlight of that map and BO7 in general. So those are going to be my 3. With that said, thank you very much to Dr. Tabadai for the question. Next up, Aqua Imperative, who asks, why are the Citadel swords the worst in Zombies? No, he didn't say that. He didn't say
All right, guys,
that.
that's going to do it for this episode. We appreciate you.
He said, what map has the best soundtrack, not including Easter egg songs, so no Kevin Sherwood bangers?
So like with soundtrack, is that like boss fight music and stuff?
Yeah. Or just like even as simple as like round change and just like, yeah.
I have my answer.
I think Buried has the best overall like theme music, round change music. I really like every time I play Buried, it's just, I can't get enough of just, it really kind of brings you into that type of setting with the music.
Super valid.
Yeah, no, that's a great pick. I think, dude, mine, it's got to be ZatchyBoii. It has to be ZatchyBoii. Again, boss fight music and stuff, I know like that's a big thing for people in the community. To be honest with you, I don't even hear the boss fight music while I'm in the boss fight itself. I'm just like too locked in. But dude, ZatchyBoii, like the round change music is phenomenal. I have a video on my channel that's literally just the sounds of ZatchyBoii because I love the sounds so much that you experience while you're playing. Everybody listening right now, I'm telling you guys, get a plant to hold a zombie, go over to the like skull altar step and just stand there and listen. And it is the most beautiful, nostalgic, like it's like I guess like not a song necessarily, but just listen. It's, oh my gosh, it's like, it is perfect. It's got to be ZatchyBoii, man. If I don't shut up now, I'm gonna start glazing ZatchyBoii. So just do it in your game. Go listen to it. It's unbelievable. What's yours, Mr. Debbie?
Those are great shouts. I'm gonna go with a map that I don't particularly love as much as everyone else, but it's a little underrated gem called Shadows of Evil. I think it's very strong in like putting you into the space and the time that the map takes place, and super iconic to anyone that was around during that time. Shadows of Evil is a pretty good map, but the sound design, the soundtrack is definitely off the charts. Gotta give it to that.
100%.
With that said, Aqua, thank you very much for the question. Captain Caro asks, what do you think was the most important Zombies map of all time? That is a great question.
Great question, yeah.
That is a great question. That really makes you think back to going the Wayback Machine here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Moon, I think.
Ooh.
And I think it's just because that kind of started. I feel like that kind of set the standard for a Zombies map and Easter egg in tandem.
Are you a Moon lover, Zachy?
I do enjoy it. I will say I haven't played it a ton.
Yeah.
As far as like playing it fully through the Easter egg, but every time I do play it, I really enjoy. I mean, blowing up the earth, it's a very cinematic, and I feel like it was the first like really cinematic experience we had in Zombies, and I think that just kind of set the standard going forward.
Great shout.
Yeah, this actually is like an insane question from Carl. Like it really makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's so many answers that you could say between like World at War and BO1, but I'm gonna say Origins, and it's actually for the same reasons that Zatchy laid out for Moon. I think Origins after Moon became the standard that every, like, it's the, I would say it's still considered probably like the highest percentage of like people's favorites, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like that, or I don't know, Shadows I know is up there. But no, I think Origins I think Origins like set the bar for what every map tries to be in terms of quests, story, like the map itself. And yeah, so I think it setting itself up as the bar that other maps should strive to be makes it the most important Zombies map of all time.
Yeah. Blundell during the Blundellathon said like they know exactly how to make a map that just everyone's gonna love. Like it's a formula at this point, and I think Origins was their first like go at that. So I do have to agree it's probably Origins, just because I think it is like the gold standard that maps sort of want to reach for. And I do think maps have surpassed Origins, but that is definitely like where eyes go when looking for like a strong map to compare something to. So I will go Origins, but absolute ball knower like with Zatchy shouting Moon, because I am a Moon truther over here, man. With that said, Caro, thank you so much for the question. Let me pull up our final dead drop, which is going to be from Justice, who asks, what are your hopes for the upcoming Call of Duty movie? Wow, what a great question.
That is a great question.
I mean, I did hear that it was coming out. I'm very intrigued to see what was it said, like if there's like what story they're going to be following or anything like
nothing. Just Call of Duty the movie.
Like honestly, I expect it to be super corny, but like that's just me thinking of it off rip. But I guess my expectations are, I bet you it's gonna like, if they make it to be like a war movie, I feel like that's the route they should go, and that's kind of what I expect them to do. I feel like
more like a Treyarch kind of World at War BO1 sort of.
Yeah, something along those lines. But then again, I could also see them going the route of making it more video gamey, just because it's based off a video game.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would expect them more to keep it as more of like a serious note.
Yeah.
I just want to see Beavis and Butthead, honestly. Yeah, no, that's a good, because like I actually don't know if I agree with, like if they were to do it serious, like I don't think it would be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Like you think of like, I think of like war movies like what is it, the one like Fury, like Hacksaw Ridge, stuff like that, and I just don't know if I would get the same feel while I'm watching. Like even like in the middle of it, if something serious is going on, I'd be like, I'm watching the Call of Duty movie.
Yeah.
Like that would take me out of it. I could be wrong. Maybe they like absolutely crush it, but I don't even know like what my hopes would be for it. Just like make it like appealing. One thing I guess I'd hope for is callbacks that like OG Call of Duty fans would recognize. Nothing specific comes to mind, but
Mom, get the camera.
Right. Dude, yeah, stuff like that would be crazy. I do think like just as a funny joke, if there's like a TV on or something, if they had like Beavis and Butthead playing on the TV, but it was like way in the background or something. I think that would be a funny little thing. But yeah, so my hopes, I would just hope to see callbacks that like the OGs would appreciate. Sort of how like Rev is like the love letter to the Zombies community. I think sort of like a feeling of like the Call of Duty movie being like the love letter to the, I guess, the overall Call of Duty community. That would be sort of the hope that I would have for it.
It's so hard for them too, because like, is it going to be a story completely distinct from the video game stories, or are they gonna like, and there's two like long running kind of stories that they could pull from outside of like the Sledgehammer titles and things like that. So they're in a tricky spot. I don't even know why they're making this thing, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna be biased and say I don't care what story you're following. Give us zombie players a little something, and I'll be freaking happy with that.
At the end of the
Not
movie,
fair.
they're gonna play the Knocked intro.
Yeah, right.
I've seen that. I do it. I don't care. And then we're gonna go see Call of Duty 2. Can you believe that?
It's gonna be big, bro. Gonna be big.
Yeah. With that said, Justice, thank you for the question. Boys, do you have anything else to say before we wrap this thing up?
I just want to say thanks for having me, guys. I mean, you guys have been absolutely killing it with these podcasts. I've loved listening, and I really appreciate you having me on.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate
Seriously.
that. Appreciate that, Zatchy. You want to take us home, Davey, or you want me to?
I got you this time.
All right,
Thank
bro.
you guys for tuning in to episode 22 of the Pack Mentality podcast. We appreciate it. Obviously, do all the things that make us happy. Like, comment, subscribe. Of course, join the Discord, join the pack today. Hit the link below. And we are now on Spotify. So if you're listening to that on Spotify here, thank you for the support there as well. But yeah, thank you, Zatchy, of course, for joining us this week. And we got to get AP on very soon.
Yep, absolutely.
was-
He was very upset that he couldn't make it, so we'll definitely have to work something out soon.
For sure.
He's here in spirits, absolutely. Thank you guys again, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Peace.